Heck, it didn't even... Come on.
I had one class where I showed the kids the Police Academy movie because we were talking about that actor who could do anything with his voice, you know? And
Michael Winslow.
Yes. And so we were like, yeah, no, he had a whole song where he impersonated Michael Jackson, did all the sounds of the concert. That was amazing.
Okay, I think we're ready to go.
Oh, awesome.
And welcome to our podcast. It's 22 Sides, and today I'm here now, not just by myself as I was earlier, but I have co-host Robin. Notice I'm taking hosts today.
Yeah, take it, girl. Take it.
And two special friends of ours.
Very special.
Hola.
You may remember Mel from a previous podcast episode.
With lots of
the creepy one.
with lots of laughing. And we have Kuma.
Hi there.
Ooh.
So I've been wanting to do this for a good while, and that is I want to do a podcast where we talk about ghosts, goblins, UFOs, and the general weird stuff that goes bump in the night and other things. And I couldn't think of any two people who would be better. Oh, and horror films. I left out the horror films.
Yeah,
Couldn't think of any two people who would be better for that conversation than the ones we have with us.
Thank you. I am honored to be here.
And although this is audio, folks cannot see me, but I definitely look like someone who would have an interest in those things.
Oh, absolutely.
So you can use your imagination.
You're currently wearing a heart necklace, and it's not like a heart like
No, but
you
we
go
also-
in the store and get like the little candies. No, this is an actual
It's anatomical.
anatomically correct heart
And
the valves
don't forget the crescent moon.
and the crescent
With
moon.
the little skull.
I was going to say
on it.
yes, exactly.
So I think you can imagine.
So,
Oh, they haven't even seen my face.
I mean, give me 2 minutes and we can be ready to go with that. Because
There you
you
go.
probably noticed I have some lighting down here already. But
The picture podcast begins now. You might be afraid.
yep, I would be. So, what does everybody think about this? Who believes in ghosts?
I believe in them. Yeah,
You believe in
I
them?
believe in them.
I
Kuma?
believe in them conditionally.
Conditionally? Wait, what does conditionally mean?
Well, I want to hear Kuma's answer first.
I don't believe in anything. I have my own theories of how and why people see the things that they see or experience things. But as far as like some core belief in it,
So what's your theory?
it's a little complicated. So let's go to Mel first.
We're just going to keep bouncing the ball back here. Okay, so kind of the similar thing to you is I'm not sure if I believe in them from a standpoint of like a religious faith thing. I feel like there's a scientific explanation, like energy particles, echoes. I don't think that energy dies when our flesh dies. I think our flesh, goes to ash, goes into the earth, the ground, whatever. But the energy gets converted into something else. Sort of like when you convert a video file from a AVI to an MP3, 4, whatever it is. So I'm a huge nerd techie about it. I think there's a logical explanation, but I think it's something fantastic that feels like magic, you know?
World and time have not been defragmented.
You want to
Residuals.
elucidate on that?
Residuals.
Residuals. There you go.
Yeah, so, by the way, I don't see it as a religious thing, but I grew up experiencing ghosts. Now, I also think that ghosts may be people using their brains to create something and, create the situations and those sorts of things, because it certainly could have been that way with me when I was first experiencing what I consider ghosts and all that.
Like little creative buddies or little get through pals or
Okay, basically I grew up in southern part of Illinois and grew up in an old house. It was 3-story brick. sort of a cool place, to be really blunt. And, until my mother decided she didn't want to go upstairs anymore. But in case she sold it and bought a little Rambler Ranch type thing, which wasn't a cool place. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't, it didn't have cool, neat, weird stuff. But when I was a little kid, as anybody does, I would get out of bed to go to the bathroom, and the bathroom, we had one bathroom on the second floor, which is where all the sleeping rooms were and all like that. And there was a big hallway in the middle, and as I would go down the hallway, the light would come on.
I feel like I should be doing sound effects for this.
Go ahead. I'd go down the hall and the light would come on, and I'd go do my thing and then go back to bed and the light would go off.
Bing.
And the light was a lamp that was probably 5 feet tall. I mean, it was way high for me. And the switch was up on the bulb. And after a while, my mom finally said, "Well, how are you turning the light on?" I'm like, "I'm not. Mr. Aikman is." And she said, "How do you know about Mr. Aikman?" And I'm like, that's what he told me. He introduced himself. And she's like, "Okay." And
Mr. Aikman's been dead for 45 years.
yeah, pretty much, yes. He's the one that built the house and had been dead for a long time.
10 years ago this very night.
Did he happen to die on the second floor while building the house?
Did he look like this?
No, he was a nice guy.
I mean, he seems very hospitable.
Yeah, he was. And he also told me never to go up to the attic, third floor, after dark.
What happened in the attic?
I don't know. I didn't go up after dark.
So obviously now we all have to go find this house and crawl up in the attic.
It's still there.
That's
And
where
actually,
the mom left the body.
it's still there, and it's a bed and breakfast.
Okay.
And the attic was a neat place in the daytime.
We had to
but,
read some reviews.
but when the sun started down, I left. And, a couple
Great
times.
eggs, though.
A couple times I was going to go up there when I was a kid, and it was at night, and I was saying, "Okay, I'm doing the attic." Got a flashlight and a lantern and all that good stuff. Never made it through the door.
Yeah. Mr. Aikman was trying to protect you.
Yeah.
Apparently, but
I've seen that movie.
Yeah. The poltergeist portal or something.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But so I was like, this was just a fact to me.
It reminds me of some of those like British horror films that are based on like old literature where it's like there's always the inference of the spirit and the ghost in the house, but nothing actually ever happens in the movie. And you're
Right.
just like, well, I'm left unsettled, but also...
Isn't that the way all the British movies are? Nothing ever happens in the
Mostly,
movie.
I get this close. And
It's like, okay, I've watched this for 3.5 days, and eventually they're going to resolve one of the action things. Maybe.
yes, the true horror was
Yeah.
inside our own
But
minds.
I mean, quite literally, I just always accepted it.
There's no reason that you would have known about him, and there was evidence with the light and things.
Right.
Did
and
you have any further relationship with him? Or just that
you
one?
consider this a relationship?
No, I'm just saying, like, it sounds like...
Don't go in the attic.
It sounded like a regular occurrence. Was there anything else
Now,
that you had with him?
I sort of later on
Person in a bear outfit up there, maybe?
thought that perhaps the don't go in the attic was for a different reason. Because,
Is the attic a reference to like your head and your own mind?
no,
It's like
That's a good twist.
psychology.
I like that though.
He could see the darkness in you.
Yeah, that could be. but
He was actually turning
after
on the light for
exploring the
himself.
attic, because even in the daytime, I didn't do much exploring in the attic. But after exploring in the attic behind a wall that was behind a wall, and I mean literally that way, with finished flooring but nothing else finished, I did find a stash of moonshine jugs that still had moonshine in them.
Well, maybe he was just protecting his booze then.
That's what I was thinking.
Don't go in the
Turns
attic.
out Mr. Aikman was
yeah.
just a drunk.
Yeah,
Don't
like,
drink my booze.
It could
that's
be.
mine, kid. Lay out the hooch.
And I will say that it was quite palatable.
See?
Mr. Aikman will never forget it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still have the jugs. They're out in the garage.
Well, there you go. Tradition.
And I keep thinking maybe if I rub one of them, it'll be the genie effect, but then I don't want to.
Or
You never know what.
we should make our own moonshine.
Put it in the jug.
jugs and take it back
Take it back.
to
Yes.
the attic as an offering.
Yes.
Well, the house is
to
a bed.
Mr. Aikman.
The house is a bed and breakfast right now, so.
Well,
We could
it'll
do
be
it.
strange for them, but I mean, very entertaining. Good eggs.
But yeah, so I accept the fact that there may be something that's different than we know. Now, do I think that maybe I was just doing something with my mind to turn the light on and off? Could be. I happen to think that's quite possible.
I will definitely count on to that too, because I even have relatives. So my grandmother, who is one of these people who had intuitions, who could just know when you're doing something or know when something's going to happen. Maybe because she was raised in Thailand in the jungles until she was 4, but who knows? It does strange things to you. But yeah, so they were living in, was it North or South Carolina, when my mom was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also where my mom got like pneumonia for the first time. But it was this old creaky house. And then in the middle of the night, my grandmother wakes up and sees someone just standing at the end of the bed.
Creepy.
So, yeah. So she wakes up her husband and stuff and it's like, there's someone there. But then they turn on the lights and there's nothing there.
Wow.
But she was like, no, there was seriously someone there. And they knew the house was haunted. Like there was obvious things that happened and she would know certain things. So yeah, I do think there are people who can kind of sense these things or are connected to things that have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And there is kind of a discussion too in some circles. I was watching this YouTube about physics where they were saying that they think it's a possibility that your consciousness doesn't originates outside your body. Like there's maybe some kind of energy or force where everyone's consciousness is to a certain extent connected.
Yeah, with enough alcohol, I find that goes that way. It goes right out of your body.
You know? I was like, and when you die, everyone's consciousness meld back together. So you kind of learn from the hive experience of various lives and various iterations and things, almost like a computer system sort of thing.
To quote Kuma, I've seen that movie.
Exactly. Who hasn't? So it's like, it's interesting that we're starting to see some of these discussions even in, STEM fields and things like that now too, because I feel like there's a lot of indigenous cultures that have had kind of an intuitive sense and observations of a lot of things that now, Western science is finally starting to acknowledge,
Can I take us on a slight little detour?
Go for it.
Okay, so since we are all of the rainbow persuasion,
We are?
yes.
Okay.
So I think it's really
Rainbow
fascinating
connection.
that you brought up this idea of like consciousness being separate from the body, because I do find a lot of like the tech bros are really into that idea as well, and like mind mapping, and yet are like very anti-trans
Yeah.
specifically. But it seems to me that it would make sense that if you believe in this like separate consciousness and body awareness being this different thing, that would be a relatively plausible explanation or a way to understand transness,
Yeah.
Right.
that someone's consciousness is maybe disconnected from their body a little bit,
Well,
or
and-
like mismatched or
Totally.
different things.
I like the mismatch thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, did it surprise anybody at this table that the Matrix was made by 2 trans siblings? I mean, the minute
Surprise!
they both like availed that about themselves, I was like, well,
Of
yeah.
course.
I mean,
Oh.
Now I understand the movie better.
Now I get it.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, there's several things you said that I wanted to comment on. I think it's interesting that the tech people are doing this because the super nerdy tech people frequently are just scared of anything like that. and it shows. And I happen to think, and I've actually read some research recently that surprised me that it actually sort of found this, and that was that trans people in general seem to be an evolved state as opposed to a sickness. Now, sorry, but that would freak out the frigging Christians.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
No.
I'm putting quotes around Christians here, just so everybody knows. And I'm talking about the evangelical Christians that want to kill everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it does. It freaks them out. And it's like, I'm not sure that isn't the case.
Well, and I, as someone who grew up reading comics like X-Men, I can totally understand the idea of like you have several evolutionary states existing at the same time. And one might say like the lower state being super paranoid about that because they have a sense of we're being replaced.
Yeah, and if you even go back to Darwin said that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've got all these different evolutionary states that are competing with each other because they don't know which one's going to make it.
Well, and wasn't that also the case too with early humans like hominids, and one of them was more violent and basically wiped out some of the other species, even though they also intermingled with them. So,
But that's also where we get our uncanny valley as well. And while we're discomforted by things that appear slightly human, but are just off a little bit.
Hence going back to monsters and ghosts and things like
well,
that.
and it's this sort of intuition that in the past we had some sort of collective experience with a life form, being, race of people that was similar enough to us,
That they could
but
breed.
was also dangerous.
Yeah, right.
My opinion is that they could breed.
Well, yeah,
Probably.
Which doesn't necessarily take as similar as you might think, but yeah. I mean, it's sort of like some of the confusion I had on certain scientific things was cleared up when they started running DNA histories and found out that, Neanderthal man didn't disappear. And there's Neanderthal DNA in most native French people. That explains a lot.
Yeah.
From all
They
sides.
are French that way.
I will be your detour guide for this episode.
Yes.
So another slight little
Yes.
detour, what I think is very fascinating. So I am Ainu, which is an indigenous northern Japanese, like Hokkaido area and like the Sakhalin and Kuril Islands of Russia, right? We have haplogroup type D, like DNA. And it's really interesting because it's only found in like that area and like the Andaman Islands and then like in Tibet. Like these really like disconnected spots. So it's I've always thought that was very fascinating of like, where did we come from and how did we get in all of these like random places?
Well, Tibet, I understand. We all know it's totally mystical.
It's aliens.
I mean,
I'll be that
The
guy.
answer is always aliens.
Answer is always aliens.
Yes.
I've got the weird hair.
but and I think it's funny because you notice every time they run a DNA line all the way back, they get confused. Because the theory obviously was that eventually you'll get back to one male, one female. Well, we haven't gotten close to that one yet.
But you can't. I mean, we're all inbred.
Of course.
Or reproduce
Great.
asexually. Who knows?
Well,
Sharks, right?
aparthenogenesis,
Exactly.
Mel, I know you're for it.
As Jeff Goldblum said, life will find a way.
I mean, we can't all be hermaphrodites.
No, you could be crabs where you just change at will.
Oh. but yeah, no, it's okay. So cycling back around to the monsters and
Everything
suspicious
has
thing.
to go back to monsters.
I was going to say,
Everything
we
has to
weren't
go back to
talking about
monsters.
monsters, were we? I thought we were talking about ghosts.
Monsters,
We're talking about
ghosts.
monsters now.
We certainly
But
are.
all the things that are misunderstood, I've never had a fear of those things.
Oh, no.
That's the thing is I feel it's like Jamie Lee Curtis said, I'm not afraid of monsters in horror movies. I'm afraid of real people here and now trying to take human rights away and things. It's like, that's true because that is an actual threat. Whereas my perceived phobias that could be easily disproven through either different study or just interaction with supernatural elements. Because have they hurt me? No, I've never been hurt by a supernatural element. I know they exist. I know they're around. I know certain things happen, and whatever explanation for it, be it scientific or, some other level that we haven't understood yet, those things don't hurt you. They're just there and you don't understand them. And I feel like, again, with the DNA and everything, a lot of things cycle back to early humans, to the lessons we've learned and things we remember in our consciousness. And we give these things a vilified status because we don't understand them.
Well, and I think, this actually connects a whole lot of what we've already been talking about. I think one of the things that I've noticed, and that is that humans tend to like to kill things they don't understand.
Ooh, everyone at the table knows that.
And I mean, I happen to think that's where the monster comes in.
Yeah.
Those are scary monsters. And I see them pretty much as monsters, shall we say.
Yeah, what was it? Frankenstein, the original actor who played Frankenstein in the early Universal pictures, Boris Karloff, told his daughter that the kids got it. They understood his character of the monster because he was innocent.
Yes.
He was just a being that was brought into this world that was different at the mad lust of a scientist who didn't know what they were doing. Yeah.
I mean,
relatable. But, and they didn't know how to function. They didn't know how to interact with the social society as it was then, and they made mistakes, and then they got to be the villain because of it,
Right. And, we have all certainly seen situations where there's someone who didn't interact well with the rest of society that was vilified for it and mistreated for it, etc. And, it could just be they don't know how to interact with the rest of society.
And again, that empathetic lesson comes from a director who was queer, gay, James Whale,
Yeah.
Fantastic group of movies, by the way. I love the campy characters. Apparently, the maid who was always screaming in all those movies was also a lesbian. Because he used to hire a lot of family to work with, I guess. Mm-hmm. And the guy who plays Dr. Pretorius, who is everyone's goal to end up as when they are that age. Because Dr. Pretorius is just camp personified. If you have not seen The Bride of Frankenstein, please watch it for Dr. Pretorius.
I think there's a lot of ways you can look at this because I've always thought a little bit along the lines of what Mel was saying and what Kuma was saying. Like, there's a reason why our minds can make up stuff. And there's a lot going on here that maybe we could connect to on other levels. Maybe if we're impaired, or maybe if our eyes are a little bit open or the veil is open, whatnot. But I think, too, that we don't really give the mic or safe space to people who explore that, like witches, shamans. We always would kill the women that were perceived as witches. We know, we're not in a time where we're seeking that out. If people use something like, let's say, they go out into a jungle to take ayahuasca, they're not doing it to seek spirits anymore and to get advice. They're doing it to get more self-knowledge about themselves through themselves, kind of. Mm-hmm. It's been interesting how it's taken a more internal, I don't want to say narcissistic because they're trying to get a more expanded view, but I don't hear it as, well, this spirit told me that, or I sought this from this elder from this past time, or whatever, handed down information. I hear it as, this was the information I was supposed to be told, kind of like from myself, that I couldn't see until I was impaired, to see it. And I think at the same time, though, if we all drive down a cul-de-sac that looks really freaking weird, we're all going to have a gut experience of like, I don't know if we should go in that house, And I think there's something to that. I know there's people, maybe Mel's like, I would run in there. I don't know. You kind of got that face. But
that's kind of my childhood, to be real with you. Like constant family trips in abandoned areas of Arizona where there's either drug cartels or there's Yetis. You don't know.
So you're not afraid to go into those spaces, or, I mean, sometimes I just feel like there's something to be said about, we could feel like we just get a presence of there's something off here.
Like animal instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel that. And I think we do vilify our own
Because that's not
internal
always
instinct and
making
stuff.
something up. Like,
Well,
sometimes we make something up,
but
but then
there-
if it's just an immediate occurrence.
Yeah, but
you know?
there's two halves to that. One of them is a protective half.
Yes.
I mean, like I had an experience where I was invited to a political gathering that was, in a really nice part of town, Hunters Creek. And when I get there, right time, I checked it multiple times. There is nobody. The house is open. House is dark. Big house. And, being a trans person, I'm like, uh-oh. Sort of the spidey senses are going off like crazy. And so, I decided not to go in. I got out and looked around the outside, and I'm like, no. Because I was like, well, maybe the front of the house is lit. Nope. Not a light on in the whole house. And, so I sort of backed out, turned around, went back out, and I had seen one of the village's police officers sort of patrolling. And so I just sort of pulled over into a wide area that was on the street for people pulling over and parking, and waited a minute. And sure enough, he came by, and I'm like, okay, I got a question for you. And he's like, there's nobody there. And he said, I'm wondering why the house is open. And I'm like, okay, so it doesn't seem right to you. So I came back home, and it turned out they had moved the event sort of at the last minute.
Got to
Because
close the door.
yes, apparently.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, this was really poorly managed. And it turns out that they didn't have contact information for everyone with them. They certainly had it because it was someone coming down from Austin who was running for office that was having this event. But you talk about, gosh, dark houses and things being scary. This is a really good part of town.
And I got to give a shout out to the subgenre of horror that's popped up in more modern days of BIPOC, LGBT, and all this, because that's taking a lot of traditional horror is kind of based on this Lovecraftian, and Lovecraft was a bigot and was very anti-woman, anti-BIPOC, everything. And a lot of our gothic, our horror is based on his stories and his storytelling. So it kind of carries over to an extent that same kind of systemic prejudice. But because people, again, are starting to recognize these things more and understand and question them, now we have this whole subgenre of horror that's been popping up for a while, especially since the 80s with the whole final girl thing. Of questioning, like, okay, we don't want to just put the woman in danger trope, or we don't want to just have this, like, oh, the house is haunted by indigenous spirits who are coming back to harass the white family. Poor people. So now it's
Cue
like,
the woman running in heels that's about to die.
You move the headstones, but not the body.
yeah, exactly. So it's like constant, like, people, even in suburbia where they're like, it's like, I always felt like Poltergeist, not Poltergeist. That
Craig
was
T. Nelson.
Craig T. Nelson's. Well, let's look at that narrative. They're in suburbia, houses all around. Now, what's the scary thing that happened to a lot of white people at a certain point in their housing districts? That
Integration.
Yes. So it's like,
Oh, the scary stuff.
yeah. So it's like all these narratives come with their problematic sides. But now, because of the reversal, you have things like Get Out, where who hasn't felt that? They've gone into a room, into a house in a part of town that's supposed to be, of course this is legitimate. Rich white people have it, and they're doing a political gathering and stuff. It must be safe. But how many of us who are different in some way are still like, okay, is this a trap? When's
like,
the cage come
I
down?
ain't gonna be the first to go.
I'm waiting for Hostel. It's
It
like,
reminds me a lot of when we were doing all of the Black Lives Matter rallies, and there was the one in Viter, and everyone was like, "Oh,
Wait a minute.
oh no, that is a trap." And it turns out that it really was like a legit thing,
Yeah.
but everyone was like,
Oh, no.
"I'm not gonna fall for that."
even if they had put on the posters, this is not a trap, then you would have thought it's even more.
Then you know it's a trap.
Yeah.
Then you know it's a trap.
I mean,
Real
like,
quick,
yeah,
can
go
I
ahead.
detour back to something that Robin said?
You
You're
are the
always
detour
detouring.
Yeah. So Another detour.
Is this a dirt road?
Yes.
Okay.
So you had mentioned like shaman and stuff like that. And I think it's really fascinating how we have this very like global north and global west like idea of those type of things.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
That experience is very different here. And I think the same works also with like mental health. So like even the concept of like schizophrenia and how that is experienced by people is very, very different in like the USA, for example,
I'm totally
versus
nodding.
some other areas where like here it's a typically negative experience. People hear voices that tell them negative things about themselves, or sometimes to harm themselves or to harm other people or to not trust other people. But we know that in some other places, like those experiences of hearing voices are overwhelmingly positive, that the voices tell them good things, which I think has kind of boiled a lot down to culture and the way that our cultures vary. But just thinking about that and that experience of like this intersection of mental health and how we sometimes kind of merge those things with whether that's religiosity or what other sort of premonitions or spirits or guides or whatever, it does make me think about the ways that culture influences the spookies as well.
Absolutely. And
Totally.
politics, too, because Harriet Tubman was said to hear voices that helped guide her.
She had a
Joan
head
of
injury.
Arc.
She had a head injury,
Mulan, too, right?
Well, Mulan's a little bit complicated because no one's 100% sure whether she really existed or not, because it's based on this
Welcome to our
long.
She was a
poem.
spirit the whole time.
Well,
Twist.
yeah, a little complicated.
But as you were talking, I was thinking, having grown up in the 60s and 70s, I'm very much aware that the way you set the stage has to do with the way you trip on drugs.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing.
Let's talk about LSD.
Okay.
Easy to make, hard to figure out if you have the right kind. Oh, that's not what you were talking about. Lysergic
now,
acid diethylamide.
here's the tutorial section of
It's easy to make.
And now will teach us how to make a fun thing at home. Stuff you already have in your own kitchen.
You know what's hilarious? I grew up watching like Sherlock Holmes on TV and everything, and they would actually just show people doing like the little drug on the spoon and heating it up.
That would be opium.
That would be the opium. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's
Opium
how
was
you
very
do
popular once upon a time. Exactly. So kids and fun at home project.
Well, I mean, got to learn someplace.
You gotta learn someplace. It's better at home. And they can call 911.
Kuma was talking about like mixing different cultures and beliefs. I think on one hand we don't want appropriation, but on another hand, it's sometimes we look and we say, maybe this culture has the answer. So like when Trump was going into office, I saw a lot of people getting voodoo dolls for Trump that wouldn't have otherwise gone to New Orleans, and I'm like, oh, now you believe?
I told you I wanted to go to New Orleans. Now you know why.
But wouldn't you need like a little tuft of his hair or something to make it actually work?
I don't know.
You can build a psyche connection too.
Yeah, but they aren't nearly as strong as if you actually have.
I mean, it wasn't a damn it doll. It was a pin cushion. So
on a little side note, not a detour, but just an aside, which depending on when this, it doesn't matter. Just so that the people at the table know. So we have the Unprecedented show on the 22nd. On a few days later, I think the next weekend, Stormy Daniels is going to be performing at the same venue.
Wow.
So it should be interesting.
Wow. Okay. So Houston has some events coming up at the Aurora
So are you
Chapel.
going to leave behind some essence to...
I'm just saying she's performing there because of me.
Wow.
Oh,
That's exciting.
that's what we were getting
That's
at.
exciting. That's exciting. That's exciting.
I mean, Christian still claims that
We're cleansing
Elvira...
the space.
Yes.
Christian still claims that Elvira came out after she visited Houston Q Fest, so, We influence people.
Maybe. Oh, I think we actually do influence people.
Kuma,
Some of us more than others.
Yes.
Kuma, Alexis,
And in different ways.
Kuma, Alexis, and I were sitting at a table with Kate Bornstein, and she said for sure she had never seen such different identities just sharing a meal at a table. And that's not how Kuma influences everyone, but I mean, it was a rememberable experience, you know.
And it was funny because she had to work all night changing her talk because she was going to basically be railing at us about the fact that we shouldn't be separate, etc. And she said, I'm sitting here looking at it.
I came in here with an assumption.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Of course, she's the same person who is vegan. And when I said, so what would you like to eat so we can get it set up, you know, whatever.
Did she eat a duck? Was it a duck or
no
chicken?
Oh, no, she wanted barbecue.
We were at a barbecue place.
Yeah, but...
Oh, yeah, but she
I took her leftovers and we made soup and I made a video of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it was a fowl of some sort she got because she never had it.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I thought, okay, I thought you were vegan, I'll just tell you. And she said, well, I am, but not in Texas. This is in Texas, I barbecue.
Back to our regional differences.
Somehow, we will be able to make a segue from Kate Bornstein back to
Monster Vision?
Well, yeah.
Well,
not
you're
that
the
hard.
detour driver.
Yeah.
Okay, intersection here is there's a show called Queer for Fear. And finally, you know, I think I've mentioned this before too, because I feel so validated that I'm not just the only one talking about how horror connects so easily to our communities. Because let's face it, all the tropes, all the tenets of it is like.
Well, now there is an actual connection between Kate Bornstein and us, specifically me at the table, and the...
Okay.
And that is that when she came, she was about to go through another round of chemo.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I made her a voodoo doll of me.
No, we didn't know that.
I did. So I gifted it to her.
Okay.
With like a little, like a prescription pill bottle full of needles.
Uh-huh.
And was like, whenever you feel bad, you can just, you know, transfer it to me kind of thing. And she thought it was really cool. She connected me to a friend of hers that makes puppets.
Neat.
So that's our connection back.
Well,
Yeah, that's really cool. Voodoo dolls.
Voodoo doll.
Did you explain to her that
That's
you sort of
neat.
like the pain?
Yes. So it was this also, we were like, you know, masochist to masochist.
Yeah,
like you get the,
That
you
sounds
know,
like her
I'll kind of enjoy it.
Yeah,
So
that it sounds like her get out of free jail cards that she gives out. That she'll take the pain and hell for you if you don't want it, and then you're connecting with her on that level. I can only imagine that was a really cool gift for her to get, but also great voodoo doll segment.
I love that too. And it's a connection to a real world thing that people used to be hired by rich people to take on their sins or their pain in an esoteric way. I think that was in medieval England.
Yes, it would be the whipping boy.
yes.
Everyone had a whipping boy.
So again, we always cycle
who would
back
take
to
the
what's
punishment.
present is past is future, probably.
It's not as outdated as some people would think.
Did they get paid?
Yes, big money.
Let's bring that back.
The masochist community
It is back.
has
I mean,
a
it's
Is that not a thing?
Okay, so yeah, when my mother died, I ended up being executor of her estate, and my sister wasn't happy with the way things were going. She wanted everything to be really.
There's always one.
There's always
Yes.
one.
And my brother was like, "Well, I don't want to give her anything." Anyway, and they both had a falling out, so I ended up the sole executor. And as I'm going through things, we finally get to the point where I'm opening the safety deposit box. And there's this little purse in there, just about this big coin purse type thing that's fairly old. And I open it up and... No,
She released all the spirits.
I think it was like Pandora's box. And so, you know, I'm looking and there's like an empty peanut shell and a weird little, I mean, there's several things. I still have it upstairs. And then my sister lived in Covington, Louisiana, and just north of New Orleans, and had lived there for a good while. And so I ended up having to go to New Orleans for estate reasons anyway, so I took this with me, and I happen to know which voodoo shop my sister went to most of the time. So I went in and I said, I just want to find out what this is. I think you all made it. And the person there says, just nodded yes. And I'm like, so what is it? And said, well, it's a charm to make sure that something missing can never be found.
Oh. I'm still with you. Said it was upstairs. So
Yeah.
where
You never find the money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It turns out it's in the attic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Aikman.
Yeah.
Attic of the old house. Yep.
So that reminds me
So was the attic.
of a story. Which,
Okay.
so
Mr. Aikman again?
this one it's kind of related to voodoo, black magic, whatever you want to say, but in a absolutely bonkers,
Perfect.
fun sort of way.
Well, this was sort of fun, I thought.
Yeah.
The judge thought it was fun, too.
Well, you know.
So I used to have a roommate that everybody here at the table knows. His name is George, and he.
I think I know where this is.
Yes. So we he had moved out of the house and we were living together, and he was like, "Hey, come with me, come help." Actually, this was before we were roommates. He had contacted me and was like, "I'm moving out of this house, and I need you to help me."
Was that house his uncle's house?
No,
Okay,
this was before
different.
the uncle's house.
Okay.
So he was like, "I need your help to repossess my plants," which is
Okay.
a phrase you would only hear from George. And so the plan was that we were going to drive to this house that he used to live in and go to the backyard and dig up all of the plants that he had planted in there and put them in the truck to bring them to another house, which is like fine. And we always said, if we would get into these like Lucy and Ethel shenanigans, and if we ever got caught, you're deaf and I don't speak English, sort of thing. So
I think you two could pull that off.
okay, yes. So we got there. He's there with a shovel digging up all these plants, and he gives me like this tiny hand shovel, and it's like, go to the back door, and at the corner there, dig until you find something.
No.
Yes. So I'm over there on my hands and knees, and I'm digging, and I'm digging and digging and digging, and I'm like, I don't think there's anything here. And he's like, yes, there is something I buried there. You need to find it. And I was like, okay. So I'm digging and digging, and I finally hit something, and it's like thunk. So I'm like, okay. And I dig it up, and it's like a Tostitos salsa jar,
Okay.
but it's got this like murky liquid in it with like stuff
Okay.
inside of it.
Okay.
And so I'm like, I think I found it. I don't know what this is. It looks like trash. It was upside down. And he was like, oh, it's a jar of my pee.
This really sounds like George.
Yeah. And I was like, what?
In fact, I think all the plants were just a decoy for you to do
For
that
the-
one thing.
That's a good possibility. So, and without him here, I don't know the exact specifics of the story. But he had, I think it was like an ex-boyfriend who thought that they were like a witch sort of thing.
Okay.
What that means is that like they got a book from the library on magic and thought they could cast spells and stuff.
Of course.
And so had like gotten into some sort
you
of
bury
like
the pea on the beaver moon, and
Yeah.
there you will be lesbians until
Yes.
one of you transitions, and even then, wahaha, maybe it'll still work. Maybe
there was some sort of tiff that happened.
it was
with
a
the
soul
friends.
contract.
Yeah.
And one of them put a curse on the other one or something like that. And
Okay.
so then another group of friends were like,
Had to relieve the curse.
this is how to do like a hex breaker or whatever.
Yeah.
You need to pee in a jar
Yeah.
and put in like broken glass
Yeah.
and nails.
Oh God, you got stung by a lesbian, so we're gonna pee in this together
Yeah.
and put in a larger
Some
sting,
nails.
and then you'll be okay.
Here's
if
the funny
you
thing.
buried on the full moon,
As if the whole story itself is not
So
funny.
complex.
Yeah.
But it had nails, like screws and nails.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure it meant like nail clippings.
Probably.
Like off of a person's body.
Right, that makes
So
sense.
anyway, we
Kids,
took
kids.
this jar
Uh-huh.
and brought it to the house that we moved into and buried it again in the
Oh,
back.
Wow.
So And then when we moved out of that house, we moved into another place.
He hands you the small shovel again.
No. As Alexis mentioned, like the great uncle's house, we moved into that house. He brought the jar, but there wasn't a way, like a place to bury it. So we kept it in the utility room by the front door. And then when we moved out, he dropped it and it broke. And good Lord, it smelled like death.
It smelled like a curse.
Yeah, it smelled like a curse. And it stained the concrete.
Oh my God.
And I was like, well, we're moving out, so it doesn't matter. You know, someone else can deal with this.
The next people who moved in were like, I think a ghost was here.
I see the ectoplasm over here.
Anyway, that's my
That's a pretty good one.
Story.
That's a
Of course,
pretty good one.
the part that I find as interesting as anything else is that you went along with it. You were out there digging.
That doesn't shock me half as much.
How else am I going to get a story like this if I don't go on George adventures?
I feel like there needs to be like a Wiccans council put on alert and tell them, like, the same as the gas company, you know, before you dig, but the Wiccans need to be like, before you do anything involving magic, actually research it.
And then there was also, I was not involved in this, but there was also the story of what was called the rapture bed, which is kind of related, but also really not. But I just want to share it because it's funny and you can cut this out.
Let it out.
So there was one of his boyfriends, I believe. They lived with
You're just
some
giving
people.
George's tea.
Well, I mean, he tells the story also and probably tells it better than I do.
Oh, okay.
They had some kind of falling out. He wasn't paying rent or something. And he had borrowed this bed. He didn't own it from the people that he was living with.
George or their boyfriend?
The boyfriend.
Okay.
And so when he came home, they had dismantled his bed and like gave it away or sold it or something, along with the mattress and everything. So all that was left was just like the sheets there, as if the bed was still there, like still information. And it was like the bed had been raptured.
Yeah. I could have sworn there was a bed there this morning. It must be the ghost.
I was like envisioning a bed that you can lie in and then get raptured. It's like you charge people with
Well, we all
dollars.
missed
Sit in
the most
rapture bed.
recent rapture.
Right. Speaking
the
of
numerous
rapture, that was in
Well,
October.
There's been a lot
we
of
missed
rapture.
it.
I was looking forward to it
Me too.
because I was hoping those people would all leave.
That, and I like to fence their stuff. So,
Yes.
like, they can't take it with them.
Well, you don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so, unless you really can rapture the bed.
There's a whole market of like after rapture pet care
Wow.
that
Yes.
you can like prepay for someone to come and take care of your pet.
Wow.
What, they don't think the pet's gonna get raptured too? Oh, that's right. They end up shooting their pets, and
I mean, a lot of
some of them.
Wow.
some people that believe in that, my Dr. Kent, believe that animals don't have souls like people do, so they will not be because Fluffy cannot believe in Jesus or get baptized or whatever the specific belief is, that the animals get left behind and only the people get taken away.
Only the
I
righteous
feel like
people.
we're going to lead to another subsect of Christianity where it's the animal lovers who are like, no, Fluffy does believe in
Some of
Jesus.
them do. They believe that they'll be
And I
in
can
heaven
prove
with their
it.
pets
And
or
because
whatever.
in their doggy bowl, it's the
There's
face
a whole
of Jesus.
Rainbow Bridge community for pets. So, I mean, leave it to the queers to love the pet the whole way through.
You
but
know?
I'm just thinking about that movie, The Langoliers, and how Balky, Balky is in the airplane and like there's all this loot around him. And I was just thinking, like, not one leftover dog, actually, the whole film. So.
Can I just say that, good Lord, that movie with do you remember Honeycomb used to have that commercial with the little monster?
Yeah.
The little fluff ball?
Yeah.
You go through that whole movie and then the little monsters look like the honeycomb monster.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, oh God,
man,
that cannot
you got
even.
us. You got
Well,
us.
but some of those honeycomb commercials, especially the 90s one where the kids like get super, like they're high on crack or something.
That's what happens after you eat that kind of
what
cereal.
happened. Yeah, it's like that
Yeah.
was super
Hopped up on
scary,
sugar.
actually.
So much
I was
sugar.
like, what is in the honeycomb?
Sugar.
So let's detour again.
Follow us down.
Oh, wait, you can't detour yet. Save your detour.
It's okay, but it's not a detour. We're getting off at the next station at this point. So we went from Langoliers to Honeycomb Monster to like, kids in these like wild little fluff monsters.
And I was going back to Langoliers.
We will. We'll get there. So like there's this whole like genre of movies like Gremlins and Critters.
Oh yeah, they're bringing another Gremlins back.
Yeah, with these like, that whole thing of like you didn't follow instructions.
Oh yeah,
so now here's your punishment sort of thing.
Why? Yeah.
It's designed to teach us to read the contractual obligations before we sign up with Apple Pay.
Yeah. And it's always something weird after midnight.
Yeah. But how like monsters get used to like have some sort of like lesson in stories.
Mm-hmm. Well, but they always have been.
The old mythological.
You go back to like the German monsters. They had some neat monsters, by the way. So, so did the Norse people. But they were always for a lesson. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you see that in Pan's Labyrinth, too.
Yes.
There's a lot of Latin American cultures.
Oh, my God. Can we talk about the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth?
I mean,
who looks
fun dinner
just like Mitch McConnell.
True.
Actually, he did.
His eyeballs are in his hands, so he only sees what he wants. Uh-huh. Right?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. I see the analogy.
No, I mean, it's... If you really, like, take a deep dive into that, representation...
Well, are we shocked it was a story about fascism taking over Spain? Top level. There's a lot of reference.
Yeah, but the Pale Man wasn't, like, orange-topped.
No, that's true.
Mitch McConnell, not Trump.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
It's another beast in the whole labyrinthine beast thing. So
what was your Langoliers?
Back to Langoliers.
Yeah, back to Langoliers.
As an adult, the most afraid I have ever been.
Was that movie?
No.
Oh.
I used to drive frequently from Michigan to Houston and back, which brings you through Arkansas, the way I usually go. And so I always did, books on tape and that kind of stuff to listen to. And so I'm driving back to Houston, and I've just passed Little Rock, Arkansas. And at that point, there's really nothing much out there except woods and swamps and swamp creatures, supposedly, and that whole thing.
And so, unfortunately, no Adrian Barbeau.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think. Wouldn't know. But anyway, so I'm driving along, and it starts to get foggy. And it starts to get heavier and heavier and heavier fog to the point where I can see no lights except my car lights. And we just are at the point in the Langoliers where they're on the airplane taking off as the Langoliers are coming through, chomping up, history.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'm not paying a lot of attention to it, but I am. And so I finally get to a point where I'm like, I haven't gotten off of the freeway, but I've yet to see a car in a long time.
Oh.
And so I'm like, I need to pull off and figure out where I am.
Oh, no.
And so, I see an exit, so I take the exit. I can't even see to where the exit goes to. It's a dead-end exit.
Oh, you got to Silent Hill. That's
and I kid you not, by this time I'm shaking. and I haven't turned off the tape yet.
Oh, no. That would have been my first thing.
That would have been the logical thing to do.
But then you're afraid of the silence that may
exactly.
What else you may hear.
And
I was like, no.
So I get out of the car and I look around, and there is a road over there, but there's no way to get to it in a car. And I'm like, okay, but there's like no business signs. There's nothing you can see. And so I decide that the only thing worse than continuing is to stay here. And I am shaking so hard I can barely back up.
Oh my gosh.
But fortunately, there's no cars around, so
right.
What the heck? And so I get back on the road. And then that's when I remember that it would be a good idea to turn the tape off. However, I'm stuck on what comes next. And I'm like, no, I've got to turn it back on. Because I was forgetting that it's Stephen King. I was thinking there'd be a good outcome.
No.
But I kid you not, when I got back to Houston, I didn't go to sleep for 2 days, which isn't totally unusual, but I didn't, because every time I'd start to go to sleep, I'd get back into the fog and, gosh, something's crunching up everything behind me because there should be lights at least behind me.
I thought it was amazing when, COVID broke out and Trump got elected, just how many people were like, wait a minute. Stephen King has prepared us and wrote all about this. It also might be his fault. He might know the ending, and also I didn't like the ending in his book, so maybe there's a new one by now,
He's a witch who predicted the future,
Yeah.
but I don't want to believe this.
I would like to go from Alexis's story to
Back to sidetracks.
no, not back, but like going forward
What?
to hear other people's like a moment of like terrifyingness,
Creepiness, like
Yeah.
something like that.
like just a moment where you were like
Terrified.
terrified. And then maybe after that, if you have like a near-death experience or something like that.
Okay.
I mean, you can laugh
Sure,
at that,
sure,
but
sure,
some
sure,
of us
sure,
that
sure.
have had
No,
moments
totally. I love how you're like, and if you have a near-death experience, also
Yeah.
segue into that.
Also
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
So many. Why don't we go that way around the table since we started with
Okay.
me before? So
Do you have one?
I mean, eventually I'll think
Okay.
of one.
Do you have one?
Sort of.
Go ahead.
That means yes.
Go ahead.
This is weird though because
Sure.
I have experienced a lot of pretty terrifying, like horrible things in my life, but I think in a lot of ways for me they were. It's a long story. There's a stage show about it, but they were like very normal also. So, but I've only ever had like one moment where I was like, I don't know, I felt like my insides fall out of my body sort of thing. And it's a George story. And it's not even
George has a lot to
scary.
answer for.
No, this is great because, like you said, we work ourselves up sometimes.
Yeah. So we had been, George found this like plastic horse duck thing. I don't know what it is.
Turducken?
That he had like as a small child.
Mhm.
It was like one of those like ride-on things.
Mhm.
And we started like hiding it around the house to like surprise each other. So like we'd put it in the washer, or like one time he put it in, he buckled it into the driver's side of my car.
Okay.
So it would go there. So we were doing like all of this, kind of silly stuff.
Yeah.
We'd hide it in the shower.
That's fun.
Scavenger.
We did that for a
Yeah.
little while. And then one time around Christmas at his job, he found these animatronic, like a little Victorian caroler boy and girl dolls that you could like plug in and they would move. And they had these candles that would light up. But we thought it was funny. We took the candles out of their hands and put knives in their hands, right? I didn't know about them, though, when he found them originally. And
Uh-oh.
I came home, and it was totally dark. He wasn't home yet. When I got to the stairs, because, like, my room was upstairs, I had the upstairs of the house, and he kind of had the downstairs. I flipped the switch on, and there are these, like, maniacal
Oh, God.
small children at the top of the stairs with knives in their hands. And I, for a brief moment, just like of all the things in my life I've experienced, I could understand very quickly what was happening. But it was this like, there are these small Victorian children at the top of the stairs with knives moving. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
had this, not
sure.
even like, it was just,
It would be
Sorry.
children.
yeah, no, it was just this moment of like sudden, intense dread. And then I was like, oh, that's what that is. But it was that brief moment that was almost like a high. I've
Yeah.
never experienced
Yeah.
that before
Uh-huh.
or again.
I think that's kind of why people like being scared, right? Like, I mean, I don't know, Mel, do you have this, does that draw you to horror films? I don't watch horror films, but what I hear is that people like being in that fright, and they know it's not really going to happen, but they like being like, like when the things jump out and everything. Do you get that sensation from horror films?
I mean, yeah, there's that side of it, definitely. I think there's always going to be a draw of like, because let's face it, media, movies, it's about experiencing things that maybe we don't get to feel in our everyday lives.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's like a romance film in a sense of like, that lovely date or that, something, or action films and you just want adrenaline and go in and everywhere. So it's like, Die Hard, great holiday film.
I think it's hilarious that became a holiday film.
Well, it's our
Gremlins
holiday.
is also
A holiday.
holiday
That's
film.
my tradition.
Yeah, and I find it scarier.
Yes.
Fair. But I love that they're like destabilizing this little suburban white town though. But so from a perspective, and of course it originated from the old guy's shop. So it's like,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I told you didn't want it.
You did tell them.
Yeah, I told you to follow the rules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Again, the little lesson, right?
I want to know with gremlins, when is it okay to feed them again? Because
Like what time does it click over, right?
You can't feed them after midnight. When is it? Is 6 a.m., 10 a.m.? Are we doing McDonald's rules? Is it like no breakfast after 10:30? What?
I don't know.
If it's cut off at midnight, I would assume 12 the next day. I mean,
Can't feed them until noon?
I always assumed that when the sun came up, it was okay. Now, I have no basis for that whatsoever.
So
That's
if
true.
you're in
Like, kinda like a vampire
Alaska
thing.
and it's
Then you can feed them all night.
Yeah, there you go. Kind of like a vampire thing. Yeah.
No rules in Alaska.
So
But then they don't get to eat for a few months.
Oh man, that's
So-
tormenting.
so
like
Mel-
penguins.
So Mel,
Yeah.
when you watch horror films, do you get that like spike of
yeah.
scaredness?
So yeah, that's a part of it. But I think my personal draw to horror, and I have heard a few different people kind of share this too, is kind of like, we have that sense of you want to know. You just want to know, because you're truth seekers. You want to know what's behind the door. You want to know. Your curiosity, it's going to kill you probably.
Yeah.
But you're still like, at least I'll die satisfied.
that saying, though, is curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah.
But
Satisfaction brought him back.
So I'll be a ghost.
There you go.
But
There
I'll
you go.
be satisfied.
I find that I laugh at a lot of horror
Oh
movies.
yeah, no. My mom laughed at Alien when she saw it in theater. When the thing burst through the chest, she was like,
Yeah. That and Hellraiser made me have feelings.
Fair.
Like what kind of
But,
feelings?
I mean, I was
mean-
way too young to watch it, probably. But I was not
That and
scared.
Little
I was
Shop
a
of
little.
Horrors.
That is something totally different. So Little Shop of Horrors, I love. And we're talking the 1986 Rick Moranis musical version.
With the feed me.
My adoptive parents were very strict. We weren't allowed to watch a lot of stuff. So, like, we couldn't even watch, like, Bewitched or The Munsters because it was the occult, My mom saw this on TV. She, was flipping through channels and came in, right at the part where it's the Dadu song where he's telling the story, but right where Rick Moranis walks up to join the doo-wop singers, and she was like, "This looks like a wholesome
The
film."
musical.
So she hit record on the VCR and turned the TV off and went to bed. And the next morning she was like, "I recorded something for you."
Aw,
I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever."
Veggie Tales again.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Came home from school and there's a 2-hour
Banana
window
pajamas,
before
yeah.
they would get home from work. And I watched this and was like, she can never find out what this is.
Right.
I hid it in my room like it was porn.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that explains a lot about.
That does it. I think that definitely brings a window into our roots. But yeah, it's and it's funny too because that is, again, horror takes real life kind of struggles and issues, like in Little Shop of Horrors in the remake, or a little bit in the original too. It dealt with like partner abuse and things like that as well.
Poverty.
Because she's poverty,
Domestic violence.
domestic
Yeah.
violence,
Right.
that sort of thing. And yet it was it was a musical. It was lighthearted. You know, the plants eating
Aliens.
people. You know, yeah, exactly. The
plants.
end of the world.
And it had lots of satisfying scenes.
Exactly.
You know, when the asshole showed up and the plant's like,
Oh,
Bill,
yeah.
Bill Murray as a masochist
You know?
in the dentist's office.
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved that scene and didn't understand why until Hellraiser.
Yeah,
There you go.
know,
There you
that-
go.
The
Figure.
connections.
Yeah.
But again, horror takes like a lot of real life stuff. And then Hellraiser was the story from, oh my God, I'm forgetting his name.
That's okay.
He's in the queer community too, the creator, the writer.
of course.
But that
Okay.
story
Yeah.
comes from him.
Doesn't
And it
narrow
was,
it down, Mel.
Yeah.
I know,
That's okay.
I'll think of it.
That's okay.
It's like everyone
the
knows
one
his name.
person in the
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone
Do I-
knows his name, but I'm
Do I need
getting
to pop out the
senility.
IMDb?
Senility is coming in. But anyway, so he's a queer creator too, who wrote the original story and did integrate these themes of BDSM, command things into these fairy tale stories, which were horror, but still fairy tales. So it is telling you something about real life scenarios. But it's interesting that, like in Hellraiser, it's not the Cenobites who are really the bad guys.
Mhm.
It is the humans who take their own pursuit of self-pleasure and breaking the barriers too far without any restrictions, without any conditions or boundaries or anything like that. So it's taking something that people actually do and it's twisty, it's appropriating it
Yeah.
with no boundaries.
No boundaries.
Right?
No
So again,
boundaries.
extremism in certain things. Same thing with Nightbreed and stuff like that. It takes stuff from the real world and shows you a potential dark side if you misuse that power, if you misuse that convention. So taking all that about horror, another aspect I find fascinating about it is it often reflects the real world back to us and commentaries about politics and our socio-political states and our mindscapes and everything. Things we're not willing to talk about in open society a lot of times
Right.
because we're afraid about the reaction it will get.
Right.
Even if
we're
they're not
told
really
not
bad.
to talk about it. Don't talk about
Exactly.
sex, politics, or religion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like through
what would
these
we talk
stories.
about?
Where we get, yeah, basically. But through these stories, through this mirror and illusion and metaphors, we can discuss that without discussing it, right? And that's a big power for me. I think that's why I find empowerment from horror is because we're finally able to discuss things that were repressed against discussion in the mainstream, you know.
Did you find who made it?
No.
No. Okay.
I-
You
All right,
know,
well, we'll leave that to the listener to think of. When you're thinking about your life, Mel, do you have something where you were terrified?
Ooh. Yeah, a lot of times. Usually it was real world stuff though, but bing bong.
And now a very special guest.
Surprise guest.
and if
I thought I closed that gate.
you did,
The ghost
Okay.
of Pee Wee Herman.
and if it's somebody canvassing for a candidate, invite them in, and we'll just have
There you go. What's your scariest moment? But yeah, okay. So while we have that interlude, and we'll see if we have a surprise guest, I'll go ahead and tell you something that recently happened, which started out as very much of a real world scare, pretty common and topical today, but ended up in kind of silliness. Is I'm teaching in high school right now. And so we
That's
have
scary.
That is
that's
scary.
always scary. We have these emergency drills that we're trained on. Some are for fire, some are for intruder alerts, that sort of thing. And of course, you have one for possible active shooters. So one day we're in the middle of a lesson with my class, and the alarm for hold in place goes off. Now, at first, I'm like, wait, which alarm was that again? And the student had to tell me. I was like, that's the hold in place. And I was like, oh. So you got to put the blackout card on your door to make sure no one can see through the window. You turn off the lights in the classroom and you turn off all monitors. And then you have the kids huddle in a corner out of the way, right? That's what we're, trained to do. And so we're all there following procedure. we're all there following procedure. Oh, another horror. Following procedure. I know the kids, like these kids usually act pretty, unaffected, nothing, They chat and gab about all sorts of things all the time and joke about the drills and everything. But when you actually think it's happening, yeah, you're terrified. So it's like, I know they're scared in that corner. I'm there by the door, holding on to the door just in case someone does try to break through. Because if something happens, obviously I'm going to try and deal with it first and try and get them out. But yeah, I'm trying to listen and see if I hear gunshots or anything going on. That goes on an interminable time until finally one of the assistant principals come on and it's like, hold in place. We're still trying to figure out what's going on. So I'm thinking, okay, well, if they don't really immediately know, it's probably not super big issue. It's probably someone, accidentally pressed a button or something. And so we're waiting. And then finally they all clear, but they don't explain what it was. But we have the lights back on. We open the door back up. It's not the end of the period yet, but the kids are so frazzled, they just start leaving to the next class anyway. And I'm like, well, whatever. And so they have to end up coming back to class because the other teacher's like, well, our class isn't done yet. So you have to come back and sit there until it is. And I was like, you know what? We're not going to discuss a lesson or anything. You guys sit. Just discuss what you're feeling.
Good for you.
What are you going through right now? If you want to joke about it, you can joke about it. If you want to have a cry in a corner, you absolutely can.
Just decompress.
Here's
decompress.
Decompress. Whatever you need to do right now, just sit and do it. And we're there. We do end up kind of joking about it, but then we're also like, yeah, it's traumatizing when you're going about your day, something like that just interrupts it. And you think, oh, there's a real possibility I might die right now, or the kids might die, or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it brings you out of your routine every day, and it stops you in your tracks. And you're like, oh, how do I get through the rest of today without falling apart or trying not to think about this until I can get home and process it? And you just do. But then, it helped that we got the email that was like, yeah, someone sat on the button. And everyone's like, of course.
But I mean,
thanks for
and
that.
You wonder
trauma.
what they were really doing on that desk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and we're like, thanks for that.
And back
Isn't there a supply closet you can use?
Back to what you're
Time.
Oh, yeah. No, UFOs should be its whole own episode because we've gone so far from where it was it's just a bunch of delusional people to now it's like, oh yeah, the military's known forever and here's the documentation.
And the military's been so afraid of something that they won't even tell anyone, which...
It's a thing that exists.
They outran us, so we can't talk about them existing. And
the Langoliers. It's them the whole time.
I was going to say, we could do UFOs and the little flying rods in the caves and... the Amazon.
What's also related to is multiverses, because there is a theory as well that aliens are from multiverses.
And
I do love some quantum.
who knows? I mean, we don't know anything about it.
It's true. There's said to be I think it's in some religious books. It might be the Bible or one of the versions that there's a spot in the desert where it's a hole from another dimension where creatures pass through. So
I saw that movie too.
Everyone's seen that.
What Bible are you reading? I want to read that one.
I mean, the early Testament.
It's probably one of the ones that didn't have the books deleted.
Right.
This is totally off topic, sort of. The only connection
we
here
on
is the
topic?
Bible. I learned that scarecrows are older than Jesus.
Well,
And it's just funny to me because they both have the same stance. and
a crow.
and maybe also are created to scare things into submission. Anyway,
I always love crows.
back to
Well, but I don't think
what we're
Jesus
doing.
was scary.
Me
I mean, the
neither.
only part that's scary is the fact that everybody presumes Jesus wasn't like us.
Well, and you actually had a positive experience with the ghost in the hallway helping you out. Have you
course,
had
sure.
other positive experiences with ghosts?
Yeah,
Okay.
mine are always positive.
Okay. Any last final stories you want to tell about positive ghost experience?
Nope, I think we're done.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for coming on, guys. We are happy to have you. It's always an open table, and we look forward to dancing around all 22 topics we can come up with, especially in one sitting.
And I think, the idea of doing UFOs for our next one is great.
Sure. We'll start off with UFOs, and then we'll take detours depending on who's doing the tour guiding.
And who shows up at the door.
Yeah, and who shows up at the door. So thank you for listening to 22 Sides. If you can like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. If you can even kick a few dollars our way, it keeps it going. So the most important thing is that you take care of yourself, especially going into this holiday season. I think everyone at this table is going to stick with Halloween, but I mean, you do you. Enjoy.
Oh, and also we have a show coming up.
Oh, yeah, we did mention that a little
We
bit.
did mention it briefly.
November 22nd, it is the third Unprecedented show.
Wonderful.
7 p.m. at Aurora Chapel. That's 800 Aurora Street in Houston, Texas. $10 at the door, but nobody's turned away. And it is a part of the National Fall of Freedom collaboration of artists that are doing shows, events, installations, all related to a sort of some sort of collective effort to combat fascism through the arts.
So look up Fall of Freedom. And if you're local to Houston, check out Aurora Chapel. It's in the Heights area. And they do a lot of different really nice programming, everything from showing videos to having art presentations and talkbacks.
And what do you have coming up after that?
Stormy
Anything?
Daniels, I mean.
Well, they're not doing Stormy Daniels. I'm sure she's doing something.
Someone else.
Yeah, she will be at the same venue. I don't think I have anything planned.
Oh, so let's figure out something to do.
Okay.
All right. We'll keep it going.
I will. This is. You can insert this story wherever, but I wanted to share this story because it's kind of related, but also kind of not. One time, after I did a show, a drag show in Galveston, I spent the night at a friend's house who lived in a garage apartment upstairs, and the stairs were really like rickety and scary, and had a very small platform at the top where the door opened like out towards the stairs, so you had to like kind of scoot in the corner. And I obviously had a giant duffel bag on wheels. And I have a friend that was coming to pick me up, and I was like positioning myself to try and get the door closed, and fell backwards down the stairs as my friend like drove around the corner just in time to see me fall down the stairs. And these were it was like 3 stories high. And they say like before you die, your life flashes before your eyes. My life did not flash before my eyes.
So you knew you were okay.
What did flash before my eyes was that scene from Death Becomes Her when she falls down the stairs and like her head twists backwards.
Oh.
And then I, plop, 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 hit the last 3 stairs and then the ground. And my friend was like, oh my God. And was like, are you okay? And I was like, I think so. And then like on the drive, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not. We need to go to the emergency room.
Oh.
I fractured my hip, but I was okay. And when I was in the emergency room, they obviously asked you what happened. And I was like, I fell down the stairs. And they made my friend leave. And they were like, they handed me these materials and they were like, do you feel safe at home? Do you need? I was like, no, really, I fell down the stairs. And they were like, well, we want you to take these pamphlets anyway. It's like, no, I appreciate you. I really did fall down the stairs.
I legitimately fell down the stairs. I wasn't.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's my near-death experience.
One last story, because I have a similar kind of weird staircase story.
Well, I just want to say, I think that's really cool because you guys know a lot about movies that your brain was like, this is the movie scene that your body is doing right now.
Yes.
Your
Oh my
brain was
God.
like making sense of it. What were you going to say?
Okay, so when I still worked in public access, we were looking for properties to move into. Long story, traumatic story. But so and we had an intern at the time who was Tracy McGrady's daughter.
Oh
And
my God, don't mention names.
she's in college. She don't care. And so we were exploring this house, or not house, like it was this old factory building from the 70s along Navigation Street. And it must have been a printing press or something. They had this big open space, which was like a garage area. And then they had all these shelves of like the text print that used to be on there. They had like an old soda machine from the 70s that didn't work for ages. And so I was like, manning the video thing. So it was like a ghost hunters kind of video almost. I was following her around with the camera. We were looking at the whole building, kind of documenting. We went up the creepy stairs on the side and we were like, oh, well, the upstairs, they say, is supposed to be like a board conference room or something like that. So we're falling up the stairs. She's ahead of me. She opens the door and gasps. And I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
And she's like, there's a body up here. And I was like, there's a body up here.
Like,
Is it alive?
Wow.
She's like, no, it's like, come and look at it. And I go up the stairs with the camera and I go in and it's a stuffed life-size material dummy
Wow.
with a face. Someone's face was, screen printed onto the head of it.
Wow.
I don't know whose face. It was just someone's face.
Wow.
Sitting in the chair.
Wow.
I was like, already this is awesome. I feel like I'm on Ghost Hunters. And then, so it's your boardroom with the chairs and everything. And then off to the side is this 70s style honky tonk bar filled with taxidermied animals. And when I say taxidermied animals, I mean huge bears, full bears, full tigers, full lions, leopards, huge heads all over the wall of various animals, huge, hawks and things like that all over the place. Like there must have been millions of dollars of taxidermied animals inside this sidebar. Wow. I was filming. I was like, this needs to be a film set. I was like, I'm in an Eagle Pinnell movie right now.
Yeah.
I was like, I wanted to get the place because I just thought you'd be filming everywhere all the time for different weird things. But yeah, structurally, it probably wasn't that sound. But then it was probably not as bad as the place we ended up in anyway. So,
like most haunted places, not very sound, probably.
Yeah, probably not. But I love that I still have that footage, and one day may do something with
it. Nice.
Yeah, I think part of the problem was that someone who was well above you, when they heard exactly what it was scared to go look.
Probably.
Hey,
oh, no, I know this. I experienced this.
Who wouldn't be? Except for Mililani.
I wanted to go.
And we did not even get to the part where we went to a nuclear power plant in Kansas that's right next to a graveyard.
Wait a minute, are you leaving cliffhangers?
And then accidentally maybe went in there and started pushing buttons. We're not really sure what that place
I don't know if that's a UFO episode or the nuclear future episode.
It's something like a to be continued.
To be continued.
All right.
All I'm saying is we are one tornado away from radioactive zombies.
Mm-hmm. The zombie episode. There you go.
Zombie episode.
Could be zombie episode, yeah.
And we're back to Jesus.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or monsters, like you said. It all goes back to monsters.
And I think that there are a lot of areas actually in Kansas and some of the other Great Plains states that you could make the claim and show that we're probably post-apocalyptic.
Yep, I buy that.
There's missile silos that are empty. There's power plants that are just abandoned. There's,
It's always
living ghost towns.
Yes.
Living ghost towns. And what was it? The Blob 1980 kind of ends in was it the snake Christian religion hut where he's got the last piece of the blob that could just absorb humanity in a jar. In a jar. So, George, if you're out there.
I was going to say, the question is.
We happen to know where that jar broke.
Critters takes place in Kansas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you ready to connect it back to Houston?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So in Critters 3, one of the actors used to do porn, but he now works at a HEB in Houston.
All right.
In the fish market.
I love our representation.
Gay porn.
Hey,
very important.
Houston, we're just breaking people out, keeping people in, and having all sorts of fun.
So, you all said you have to run about.
Yeah,
I think that's the end of that, guys. So
we're terrible.
We're
terrible
3 p.m. cutoff time.
Thank you for the commercial break.
Oh, yeah. No, that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I was like,
Kuma, we were going to talk a little bit about the number.
Oh, yeah.
But I looked it out, and do you wear a black shirt, wear a black hat?
We could do kind of a brief run through.